everyone, Hari Om. My name is Vyoma, and today I'm going to be talking about eco-friendly festivities and how we can make sure that our fun times aren't harming the environment. Okay, so in our Indian tradition, we have a wonderful, vibrant, and joyful way of showing our love for our gods, for our culture, and for our communities. Through each of these major big holidays that we do, like Ganesh Utsav or Diwali or Holi, through each of these, we're kind of expressing our joy as a community and showing that our identity, as colorful as it is also dedicated to these higher ideals of our gods and our spiritual growth. And I think all of this is just wonderful. But one thing to keep in mind while enjoying all of these is to make sure that we aren't harming our environment. A lot of the times the materials that we use or the things that we put into, our waterways or the air are not the most biodegradable or eco-friendly. So we want to make sure that we aren't causing any detriment to our surroundings, to nature, or to any part of this creation that Bhagwan has given us. Okay, so to understand what to do and how to not harm the environment, I think we first need to understand why we're celebrating these festivals and what they symbolize. Today I'm going to be mostly focusing on Ganesh Utsav, but these principles can be applied to any holiday and pretty much all throughout the year. So first off, Ganesh Utsav. Ganesh, what is he? Well, Ganesh, as we all know, has the elephant head, and he's called Vighnaharta, which means the remover of obstacles. This is also why we do his puja first in any big undertaking that we will be doing. So Ganesh is called Vighnaharta, remover of obstacles. Why is this symbolic? Well, as the elephant, which is the great, gentle giant, he is the one who is creating ways for everyone. With his kindness, but also his power, he is able to, as elephants in the wild, dig up holes and allow waterways to form, or they pull up weeds and unhealthy trees to make sure that the forest is thriving. In the same way, Ganesh or Ganpati is doing all of these things to ensure that our lives run smoothly as well. And in order to honor him in this Ganesh Utsav, we need to make sure that we're not in any way harming the environment that he has created for us, and that we're not introducing different obstacles into the ones that he has already cleared out. So that's the significance of Vighnaharta, of Ganesh, of the elephant. So, okay, if this is how it is supposed to be, then what was it like before we started introducing all of these, non-biodegradable or harmful chemicals? What were they doing back then? Well, in ancient times, or not ancient times, but just a few centuries or years back, we used to have our own personal idols, right? We didn't have to go out and buy these plaster of Paris, made with non-toxic paints and all that. It was just whatever you had at home. For example, a lot of people use clay or mud, which is a very natural substance. It causes no harm either to the person or to the marine life or anything else. And when they would do the Visarjan, which is dipping the Ganpati or the Murti back into the water and sending him home, it would just dissolve away into the river and reintegrate into part of that ecosystem. It had no effect on the marine life or anything like that. It was just a simple way that people were creating idols to represent their love for Ganesh. So, okay, if that's what it was like back then, and what we're doing right now isn't always the best, then what should we do? How can we apply these things into the modern world where we do have all these festivities and there is a lot of toxic or a lot of, not eco-friendly material on the market? Well, some ideas for an eco-friendly Ganesha or Ganesh Utsav are the first one I really love is a drawing that you can just make with anyone, with your younger siblings, with parents, with family of any kind. If you just bring everyone together and draw a few Ganeshas, you can paint, you can use whatever medium you want. But using this means that you're not spending a lot of money on a big murti and that you're not going to do the visarjan and you're not going to spread this material into the environment. Another idea is to draw it on leaves, which is an amazing way to connect with nature and really understand that purpose. You can also make the claymurti or make a smaller claymurti and get creative with ideas. You can also, this one is my favorite, is use a few seeds in your claymurti so that once Ganesh Utsav is over, you can break it up and just let that grow. Okay, so takeaways. After learning all of this, what can we do? Well, One thing to take away is that homemade versus store-bought, homemade always wins, or handmade always wins, because you're really putting your love for Ganesh into that, and you're making sure that he understands and that you are being conscious about the things that you are doing with the environment. Another thing is be creative when you're celebrating. Use lots of different materials that you have around the house, and you don't necessarily need to go out and buy things or give things away or any of that. You can just use what you have, use natural elements, and make sure that the Ganesh Utsav is as beautiful as it can be. Another thing, and I think this is most important, is to reinstate eco-friendliness and respect into the core of this festival. You can remember that Pancha Mahabhuta, which are the five elements, need to all be respected in order for balance in our world. So make sure to honor these throughout and take time to reflect on how they have affected your life and how this as a philosophy can help you enrich your Ganesh Utsav. And finally, spread this message to your community. Get everybody else involved. Let them know that eco-friendly is the way to be. I hope you guys have enjoyed this and you learned something new. Goodbye, Hari Om, and have a wonderful Ganesh Utsav.